Yeah. What is up? What is happening? Welcome to another episode of Respect the Court. And here we are in December. We've had just about 20 or so games, a little more than 20 games into the NBA season. Yeah. It's kind of crazy, right? We're just about to mid-December and, it's feeling good, Surprising record so far for certain teams, but it is what it is. And, we'll have the Christmas games coming up in about 10 days or so, 11 days or so, and that should be fun. But that had me thinking, with the holidays, basketball, Christmas, people getting out and about with their families, I was like, you know what, this reminds me of, or had me thinking of basketball movies. And there are a plethora of great basketball movies out there. I mean, the type that hit home, that focus on the game, that focus on character development, or just focus on what is going on situationally with the characters, whether it's from impoverished backgrounds or whether it's a redemption tour, whatever that case, whatever that may be. I enjoy a good basketball movie. Several of them. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes put out an article of the 58 greatest basketball movies of all time. Don't worry. I am not going to go over all 58. I don't have that kind of time. And I ain't trying to bore you to death going over 58 different movies. You can do that on your own time if you want to. But for me, I'm going to go over 5 of my top basketball movies. And with these 5, these are the 5 that I've watched. I know there are others out there that I haven't watched that are probably better than the ones I am going to mention right now. But hey, I can only comment on what I've seen. And we're going to do it just that way, right? Okay. So in no particular order, we're going to go ahead and start off. So, number 1, for me, again, no order. I'm just going sequentially. White Men Can't Jump. Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. Great movie. If you love street ball, you had the street ball components. If you like the hustle mentality, it had those components as well. It's a fun, all-around movie. A guy that's really just trying to get to the next hustle, just move on to the next thing. And their dynamic worked so well. It was an incredible movie. Not just because it was like Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, but to me it felt like the basketball version of a buddy cop movie. Two guys who always have angst against each other, but deep down, they do care for each other. Different methodology about the way they do their craft, but at the end of the day, they get the job done. And when you team up and make it happen, good things are produced, right? And I think Rosie Perez did a fine job as being the girlfriend to Woody Harrelson's character. It's fun. I mean, hey, if you like street ball, you like street moves, this is a great movie for that. It was incredible. And we go on from there. Number 2, Love and Basketball. Now for me, why I enjoy this movie so much is you see the development of 2 players starting from when they were like preteens all the way up to the professional level. Yeah, it's a love story. Okay, yeah, we all know that. But I just like to see the progression of just the talent, the skill level, trying to navigate basketball in real life, trying to deal with the hard times that come, and especially for Sanaa Lathan's character. Like, this was before the WNBA, so here you are trying to prove to the fellas that, like, hey, yo, no, I can hoop. And not only can I can hoop just as good as you. So bring it. And I enjoyed that aspect from a competitive level that I'm not backing down. I don't care who you are. Yeah, I'm a girl, but I'm going to serve you. Let's take it to the court. And isn't that what it should be? If you have the skill, you have the talent, prove it. And just because somebody may not look the part doesn't mean that they cannot do what they need to do to play the game. So, one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Number 3, he got game. Denzel Washington and Ray Allen playing good old Jesus Shuttlesworth. This was fun. For me, this was definitely a redemption movie. A man who had big dreams, big dreams, to see his son in the NBA. And honestly, I feel like that's many fathers who have children in some kind of sport. We try too hard to, of course, not every parent, not every father. We try to live vicariously through the accomplishments of our children. The accomplishments that maybe we weren't able to achieve in our time, in our moment, in our quest to reach sports stardom, right? Be it basketball, football, baseball, soccer even, doesn't matter. So when we see that our child has some kind of talent, we push it, right? We push it out of them. We're like, no, come on, you can do this. Go, go, go. And it gets to a point that, we are more obsessed than they are with the actual sport and seeing their development. So yeah, Denzel Washington does a fantastic job of, being that over obsessed father, just wanting his kids to do well. So much so that, well, hold on. If you haven't watched the movie, I ain't gonna say what happened, but so much so that things went awry in his life, and then you end up having an estranged relationship with your child. But yeah, it was a fantastic movie. Seeing how people try to get back to the good graces of someone in their life and see them not make the same mistakes and go for as much as they possibly can in terms of their goals. So yeah, that's a great one. And of course, who could forget the last scene with his father against son? Every father who's had that moment understands that moment where it's just like, yo man, I know at this point you're better than me, but yeah, you ain't shutting me out. You are not gonna shut me out. No, I got you. Number 4, Above the Rim. I think the first time I watched Above the Rim, I was, 17, 16 years old. Great movie. Great movie. Of course, you had the iconic Tupac Shakur playing the drug dealer Birdie. You have Dwayne Martin playing, I forget the character's name, but he was phenomenal. Just in terms of like, again, I had feelings of like the Rucker. I mean, that's where the games were in New York, so it was a beautiful thing just to go ahead and watch that. He had Leon and his character kind of trying to come to terms with what happened to him and one of his good friends when they were playing hoops on the roof. And again, for him, definitely a redemption tour of trying to get back to the good graces, not of anyone else, but maybe more so for him. And and then the host of other characters that really brought that movie to light. Like you had Marlon Wayans and several other people. But yeah, I mean, just the basketball itself. I mean, if you've played street ball, some elements of that game are just like that. You out there, you're physical. You call your own fouls. Most times, certain fouls aren't called, but you push through and you fight through because you get the respect on the blacktop for how hard you play and how good you play. It's a beautiful moment. And then number 5, Coach Carter. Coach Carter out of Richmond, California, not too far from where I live. Great movie. I mean, come on now. It is Samuel L. Jackson, iconic actor, playing Coach Carter, taking a young group, a talented young group of people who had been underachieving because the right disciplinary figurehead was not around. Now, the thing with basketball, if y'all have played it on an organized level, you need a coach that's firm. You need a coach that lays down the ground rules and says, this is what it's going to be. Take it or leave it. And hey, in the beginning, some people left it. They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready to be told what to do. But when you play ball, you have to fall in line. You have to get under the coach's system and say, hey, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is going to be the recipe for us to win. So even so much so that he had to shut down the gym to let these guys know. It's like, no, your grades are down. That is not acceptable. You guys are athletes, yes, but what's most important is that I need you guys to succeed in life. Because if this here don't work out with this ball, your brain has to do something for you, and we're going to make sure that happens. So, yeah, great message, great movie. Seeing these kids trying to reach the best to their abilities. And although they didn't get to the state championship, it was a riveting moment to show that, like, look what can happen when you put your mind to it. You can accomplish as much as you want to accomplish. So, really, that's it for me. Those are the 5. Now, yeah, of course, there are dozens, and I mean dozens of other movies out there. You had Hustle, which came out not too long ago. You have Hoosiers. There's Sunset Park. For those of you who like a goofier type of movie, you have Semi-Pro, which honestly, I do like that. I do like that movie. I just like the way they played back in the 70s. It's goofy. Of course, you have Space Jam and so many others. But for me, I also have to throw in a couple of honorable mentions. I don't know about you all, but I also do like a good basketball documentary. Oh, no, of course, you can't forget Glory Road. There's also Uncle Drew. There's so many good movies out there. So many. But these other 2 that I'm going to mention are documentaries. And for me, they're definitely top basketball movies. So you have Hoop Dreams. I watched that as a young teenager, and I was like, whoa, okay. This is the real. This is what it's really all about. And they talk about the highs and lows of trying to get into the NBA. I love the part where Spike Lee came in and was like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. Let me remind you all, this is business. And these guys are looking at you just to cash in on you. That's it. So take that into perspective. Then, of course, you had the other side, Dick Vitale, talk about this is the greatest moment for you. This will change your lives and everything. Two parallels. 2 perspectives of trying to get into NBA. And, Spike Lee's perspective really opened my eyes as a kid. I'm like, yo, he's right. Like, we're just looked at as commodities. They're just going to go on to the next big thing, right? So there's that. And another one that isn't talked about as much, but definitely is a watch. On the Shoulders of Giants. This is a documentary where Jamie Foxx narrated and primarily talks about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his influences, and he talks about the Harlem Wrens. So definitely check out that movie. I'm not going to go into big detail about it, but it's a fantastic movie. They talk about the Harlem Wrens. They talk about some other basketball teams that are around during that time that weren't affiliated with the NBA or ABA, and these guys could play. And not only could they play, which gives me issues with this whole load management thing. Like, these guys would play up to 2 to 3 games a day, multiple times a week. And they were getting paid pennies, if they were getting paid at all. And yeah, it was just a true testament to work ethic and really just trying to get out there and make a name for yourself. So yeah, check that out. On the Shoulders of Giants. Great movie. But anyhow, that's what it is. Basketball movies to, get your holiday cheer up, so to speak. But enjoy the holidays and survive the holidays the best way you can. And I'll catch you on the next one. All right now. Peace.